Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Underground Cave. I am Geltip, and this is Mini Painting with Geltip. Happy Thursday! And guess what today is? Today is a tutorial stream. Well, kind of. It's a Thursday night paint along. So, if you've joined my Discord, you'll be able to figure out which miniature we're painting, the color palette that you're going to need for this miniature, and then we can go from there. Like as always, I will go through the paints that I'll be using, and if you have those matching colors, then you can use those as well. So, yeah. So, welcome to tonight's Thursday night paint along. It's the very first one in a series of 4. We're going to do the Dark Dwarf Cleaver from Reaper Miniatures, and I'm using Bones Black, which is 44139. But you may have 30081 from Reaper Bones. Either one is the same sculpt, so we're just going to be painting that up tonight. So hopefully you got your paints ready. Hopefully you got all your brushes and your tools ready to go. Because as always, tonight is Thursday night paint along, the Dark Dwarf Cleaver. So let's get started. All right. Hey, thank you so much for that raid. Now, I have no idea why my raid alerts don't work for me. Somehow, it just stopped working. I think it's when I dual streamed with Muse's Touch. So, but thank you for coming in, Aspire Painting, with that raid, a raid of 7. Welcome in, Raiders. Trader Legions, how's it going? Wampa Dan, what's going on? Did you hear them? Awesome. I, on the other hand, did not hear them. I don't know what's wrong with my source, but I can't tell you if they're too loud or too soft. So you're going to have to, you guys are just going to have to let me know about that. So I don't know when people come in. Hopefully, I have some new sound alerts. And I was hoping that maybe, you know what, maybe if let me do one thing here really quick before we get started. That is, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for, so there's a fly buzzing around here. We're going to have words. We're going to have some battles with this fly. He is trying to get a lot of camera time, which I'm going to destroy him. I'm not exactly sure where my extensions are, but I think that's what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. Sound alerts. As long as you heard them, great. I'm going to log in with this, and maybe I'll hear them as well. All right. All right, so we just need some music. I can hear music just fine. All right. Fly is tiny. I think that means you get -8 to hit. I probably do. I probably have like a disadvantage at minus hit, and I have to roll d12s just to hit this thing. All right, let's see. So the way I want to paint my dwarf cleaver is very familiar to a World of Warcraft piece of armor. So we're going to go over and get some World of Warcraft music because they have a channel. So that's what we're going to do there. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully your Thursday is going just as well as mine is, maybe a little bit better. This is the Dwarf Cleaver that we're going to be painting up. I know he's black at the moment, but he's been primed and ready to go. He's got a lot of armor on him. And my goal is, in the creases of the armor, I'm going to try to get some glowy effects. I'm not going to make it glow too much. I just want that kind of inner glow. But we're going to give him some, we're going to give him nice gray, pale gray skin tones. And then it's mostly armor. And I wanted to go cast iron, so I kind of figured out a little bit how to do some cast iron. So that's what we're going to do for that. Today's paints that we'll be using, and hopefully you have some that can match up, but we're going to use Pro Acryl's Coal Black. This is just a basic black. I like this black because it's flat. There's not a lot of pigment to it. Some blacks have purples, some blacks have blues, some are greener on when you put it into the light. This is straight up like black. Like there's no colors into this, so you're gonna use that. But any black is fine. We're gonna use some Monument Hobbies Gray Blue. It's just a light blue that I can add to the black to make it darker. And then we have some Citadel Demonette Hide. This is a purpley gray. And as you'll see later on, we have some white that we can add to this to make this lighter. So, and I wasn't sure which way to go, purple or blue, but I think we're going to do probably blue skin tone. We needed, so I put on the Discord site Dark Silver from Darkstar. A lot of dark words going through. But Dark Steel is from Darkstar, or if you have Dark Silver from Pro Acryl. So I just kind of put this name on this bottle, which is bad, but they're essentially the same silver. So exactly the same silver, so you can use either one for that. I'll be using the Darkstar Steel though. Then we have Silver from Pro Acryl. This is just a regular silver. Golden Yellow from Pro Acryl. Bold Titanium White from Pro Acryl. A lot of these are Pro Acryl stuff because that's what I kind of had grabbed. Mahogany. Everybody knows I love mahogany. And then Reaper's Blood Red 09003. It's just like a red. It's not a vibrant red. It's more sort of a dull red, but I didn't want something super dark and I didn't want something super bright, so I just wanted to have an even tone. I thought the red from Monument Hobbies was too bright, too stark for what I want. So I'm going to try to keep it dark. He's a dark dwarf, so I try to keep a lot of dark colors. I only have the reds and yellows there just to kind of get some glowy effects in there, but the rest of it is mostly on the dark side. And of course we'll be using some glaze medium. This is Magic Merlin's medium from Cuttlefish Colors, and my little bottle of water, my squirt bottle, so I don't have to keep dipping my brush. And that's what we're going to be using today. And like I said, we're not going to finish this guy today. We're going to spend 4 weeks to do it. And in that 4 weeks, this will be the last Thursday. Not today, but this series will be the last Thursday paint along until October, because I'll be taking a hiatus in the middle of August all the way through September. And there's nothing going wrong. It's just I have a lot of things going on. I'm going to be away a lot during that period, so I don't take a lot of streaming stuff with me. Even though I know people do it with the phone, I am not adept to the phone, as some stories may actually say. Cut it back to 75-ish. What's that? The music? Oh, the other thing? The sound alerts? Let's see. I don't know what I have the sound alerts set up. Let me look. What is that, channel raid? It's at 50%. The rate is, let's see if there's what the followers set at. Yeah, it's all 50% of what, so it might come through the browser source. I can cut this down just a little bit. We'll see if that helps out. It won't help me out, I know that. So hopefully you guys got the new raid alert going. I have no idea why I can't get any sound on my end. But if you can hear it, then that's all that matters. All right, let's get to start painting this. And even though that I primed it black, we always start out by getting a nice acrylic layer on it. So I'm just going to go right to the acrylic black, which is my coal black from Monument Hobbies. Get that right on the palette, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do a nice thin layer of acrylic on this, because I feel like a lot of things work better over an acrylic paint than over a primer. Some of you may think differently. So those of you who are watching, if you have Pro Acryls, the trick is to open the big bottle first, or the big screw, then the smaller one, tighten it back up, and it won't give you that volcano. I don't know how many times I get the volcano, and I'm not even flying. Oh, I want to keep that around because I may need it. All right, and we're just going to take a nice big brush. Doesn't have to be any fantastic brush. Just, you want something big enough to get right on there. So we're just take this, and we're just going to slap it all the way around. You're not going to see any difference in it, but you will get to see how it reacts to when you do blending and you do glazing. It's so much nicer to do it on acrylic paint. This doesn't have to be super thick either. You can just, I could thin this out if I wanted to and just get it all over. And if you have your dark dwarf cleaver, or even a dwarf that you want to paint, and you want to follow the steps, this is a live video. I will try to be better about importing these videos to a YouTube channel, and then I will stick that YouTube link in the Discord, so in case you miss it, you still have access to it. I don't think I did that with the statues when we did those. Whoops, there we go. Hey, Humbler John, how's it going? How's your Thursday? After this, I have some kitchen work to do, and I have to get everything set up for my nice long weekend, since tomorrow is my summer Friday. But I have a couple things I have to do for work, some bookkeeping stuff for work that I need to get done so that people know where things are at and I can get them off my plate. So and you really, when you're doing this, you don't have to hit everything. You just want to hit anything that you're going to paint. So if you're not going to paint underneath, you don't need to worry about that. And I'm not even going to worry about the base. The base I'll eventually do something else. But this, anything that you might want to paint, you want to get this layer on. So I primed it black, painting it black just for the acrylic layer. That's all I'm doing. So if people are trying to figure out, why is he painting black over black? That is the reason. Alright. So he's looking nice and shiny all over. I don't think I missed any spots. So we have to kind of let him sit and dry for a moment. That's the only problem with the paint-alongs, is that we have to let things dry. Just hanging out. Awesome. Alright, so while we're letting this guy dry, I'll give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at, and you guys can kind of have the same visual I do. So where I'm thinking of going is something of this caliber. Where is this? Nope, that's inspiration. I don't want, oh, this right here. So this is what I'm looking at right here. And I don't think I can bring this. Can I get, oh yeah, there he is. So this is the dwarf I'm kind of looking at where all this armor is. Now, obviously he has more cracks and recesses than I have in here. But, you know, I'm looking at all of these different black and glowy armors. See, it doesn't have to glow per se all over. It's just to give a little bit of color to the miniature. They all have that gray face with the glowy eyes. We may or may not do the glowy eyes. It really depends on if it needs it. But notice that all of these, it's mostly dark. And I'm trying to figure out red beard, black beard, white beard, right? So, in fact, this guy looks an awful lot like this guy here. So we could do a black beard, but then we don't have the gray skin up there. And then that's what a red one looks like. So, but this is what I was eyeing. I was thinking of doing this nice dark gray with white and kind of bringing the white, I don't know, underneath maybe? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's where we're at with this. All right. How do I get this off? There we go. Hey, antifreeze, what's going on? God, I hate that dude. Grinding that jerk for weeks. Yep. Well, hopefully this won't be that dude. He'll be like a little baby version of that dude. But I just wanted to kind of get the colors going. So it looks like he's got some stuff. I just took him out of the pack. I didn't really clean him up or anything, but hopefully you cleaned yours up. Actually, I don't know. Maybe those are supposed to be there because it doesn't totally look like a mold line. Might be little patches of hair. Well, we'll see. We'll make it something. All right. We're just waiting for this to dry. It is pretty soupy down here. I have 2 dehumidifiers going on, so hopefully it won't dry too, or it'll dry pretty quick. I'm gonna grab out that gray blue that we have. Now you can either use the gray blue or you can use the purpley gray, depending on what you chose for your skin tone. Now this is a pretty light blue-gray, so what I'm going to do, I could use the dark blue-gray, but this kind of gets a little bit of highlight for me. So what I'll do is I'll take some of this and I'll mix it in, so with a little bit of black. Not a lot of black. It will bring your value way down if you use a lot of it. So you want to be very controlled with that black. And the same happens with your white. Alright. And I'm going to grab a little bit more. So I think I'm going about 3 to 2 on the black and the blue-gray. At least on mine. Yours might already be a nice neutral gray, but I don't want it super dark gray, but I don't want it to be very bright gray either. I want it to be really neutral in there. And this is what we're going to do all the skin tones. So we'll just start painting. And I'm going to try to stay out of the eye sockets as much as possible. Because if I do want to do glowy eyes, you really kind of want to have that dark in those glowy eyes. just do his forehead up here. Make sure, let's see, I think these are his ears. Make sure you get that little touch of lip down here. You're gonna need it. Because that's what separates out that mustache and the beard. So. And we can be as messy as you want here. Try to be as neat as you can, but because we're going to do the armor kind of a dark color, you don't have to worry about getting it on the armor or the beard. Because the beard, if the beard's white, we're going to go with gray anyway. And how is the zoom? You guys need it more zoomed in? We'll do some on the hand here. So again, we're just adding some base colors here. Trying to figure out color schemes. I kind of have something in mind. And if you're in a nice, well-ventilated place, maybe your paint is drying faster than mine. Now, it may be that he's wearing gloves, which is a very possibility the way this is sculpted. But I decided, you know what? Let's make his hands. Make these hands. Maybe he has stone hands. Gonna get distracted by this fly pretty soon. If you see him on camera, then you know I haven't gotten him yet. All right. Your mom's got glowy eyes. Really? Really? All the better to see you and shoot you with. Her laser eyes. I don't think he has a hand that can be seen over here. I think it's covered up by the shield and the beard, so that's good. We only have a couple places for his gray. Okay. We might actually put the gray on the base too. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gray that we got. There's not a lot of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thin it down. Thin it down with some Magic Merlin as much as I can, because we're going to add a little bit of the blue-gray to that. So I want it nice and thin. Grab a little bit of the blue-gray and mix that in. Shouldn't be a drastic color change. Not a drastic color change. We're going to go to a smaller brush now. And basically what I'm going to do with this little thin gray is make sure you're going to use it sort of like a glaze. The trick is you want the point. That's all I want here. It's not so much a glaze as it is a point. So I want to grab that point back, and I just want to hit certain spots that I want a little bit lighter. So like the tip of the nose, right on the sides of the nose, right up here on the forehead. Now, because it's thin and watery, it's going to look like it's super bright only because the light is reflecting off it. When this dries, you're not even going to know I did anything. And get the top of the head. But what I want to try to do is get a little bit of definition in this gray here. So I'm just kind of hitting the top areas and trying to give him a little bit more than a base a base coat here. I don't want to go too much into the recesses. Just kind of want to do like the top of the head. When it dries, you won't even know you did anything. So why do it? Well, because you'll know. The camera won't be able to tell you, but you'll know. And it makes it nice and easy to apply brighter colors down the line. So we'll just do the top of his hand there. We'll get some of his fingers up here. Again, if it's a little messy, it's fine. Because it's a thin paint and it will eventually dry and you won't even know that you did it. Alright, so we'll do that. Alright. So that's the face, and eventually it'll become more blue as we get farther into the dwarf. But what I want to do is I want to do some of this armor stuff. And before I do the armor, because I do want to give it sort of that little glowy effect. It's not really glowy, it's more like I want in the recesses to be a color, and I want the rest of it to be mostly black and dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now that I have it nice and black, I'm going to take my dark silver and I'm just going to apply a couple like dry brushes or over brushes, but in a very light and purposeful like movement. I guess that's what I want to say. So we're going to take some of this and we're going to thin it down. I do want to thin this down, so just thin it down like that. And always use glazed medium if you're going to thin it down. Any metallic paints, because if you use water, it tends to sprawl out the metallic flakes, and then it doesn't look metallic. And then I need a brush. Then he needed a brush to mix it all up. Get it nice and thin. Okay. And we're going to go to our little dry brush. My little mop. This is my mop. My paper towel. Make sure you have all that stuff next to you. And normally when I do this stuff, I'll always use an overbrush. I'll use a flat brush, and I will I'll wipe one side off, and then I'll just go in a direction. But since I want this to be a little bit more like cast iron, it's got sort of that texture, you know, in your frying pans or your like your what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? The cast iron, you know, like door handles and sconces, I think. Don't they have it for like the candles and stuff? And ladies and gentlemen, a little. Oh, hold on, hold on. Ah, missed it. Ah, missed it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of very lightly dust all over the armor. So you just kind of want to make it look, you're not trying to highlight it, you're trying to give it some texture, like a rock texture. So we're just kind of, and then we'll get into how you can make it look a little bit more like cast iron. So this isn't, I'm not dry brushing silver on here. Or I should say, I'm not dry brushing silver armor. I'm dry brushing to give it some texture. Because that's what you want to do when you're doing cast iron. You want to give it a little shimmer and shine in certain places. I mean, I could stipple like this on certain locations, but you want to make it look like it's kind of chipping in certain areas. Oh no! Alright, so that was a little too hot, too hard. Alright. So you still want it to look... See, it's got a little bit of shine to it. That's what we want. We want that nice dark going there. And then after you get done with this, when you like to where it's at, you want it to still look black, but you just want to have a little bit of that dark silver peeking through. We're going to actually go in and do more outlining and stuff here. But when you're done with that, you can go ahead and do your beard. You can paint your beard black again to kind of clean up any of the metal that got onto the beard. Oh no! See, once he pops off, that's all he wants to do now. Let's really get him on. Alright, I might need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just making little random shots here and there, figuring out what I can hit, what I can't. Don't want to turn it silver, I just want it to stay nice and dark black, but do want a little bit of that gleam going on. You could stipple. Stippling is another cool way of doing it, but there we go. Alright, and like I told you, I will go in and paint my beard back in so it doesn't have all of that metallic on it. Wonder if I can catch this fly with some super glue. Looks like it's time for another brush cleaning since this one's kind of splitting hairs a little bit. It's not staying where it needs to stay. And with those stray hairs, it's very possible it could hit something I don't want it to hit. Alright. Beard is black. All right, so when we do, we'll do the shield since that's easy to see. So when we do cast iron, a lot of times where it's gonna really kind of chip or become more silver, where the wear and tear is always on the edges. So that's where we're gonna go with our bright silvers. But we need to actually start out with a mix between what we just did and our bright silver. So let's get some of this silver on here. I don't need to thin this silver out because I've already thinned out the other silver. Come on. So we'll just put some of this silver right here. You can see how bright that is. And eventually we'll put some bright spots on here. But what I do want to do is take some of this bright silver. I'll take 2 of these brights. And I'll come in and get some of the dark. So you're getting more of a medium silver than a bright silver. And this is what we're going to use to kind of edge highlight. So to edge highlight, I'm just going to use the side of the brush, the side of the tip, and I'm just going to kind of use the light as much as I can and just kind of find that little Now you could, if you wanted to, you could come at yourself, and if you're really adept at doing straight lines, you could kind of come here and do something like that. But sometimes we can't get to that line, so we have to use the side of the brush. So you can do either way. If it's a nice edge, I would suggest the side of the brush, and if it's an edge that is sort of you can't get at with the side of the brush because you're going to hit something else, then you want to use the tip and you want to come towards you in one motion. So because the shield has some nice, and you don't want a lot on here because you got an extreme dark color with an extreme light color, so you don't need a lot of paint on the tip of the brush to do this. You just need to softly hit it, and it should be able to get an edge just like so. This is probably why it takes me so slow, like so long to paint, because I do all these different things. So I did it on the bottom and I did it on the top. And you could, if you were so bold, you could do it on this side as well, since there's an edge. Notice that if I can't get somewhere, I'm not going that far. I just go to wherever I can paint. So you could do something that looks like that to give the backside a little bit of an edge. And I'm only doing the top and the bottom because I feel like the bottom, he's not throwing it around flat. Like he's using it, and so it's getting dinged up on top and it's getting dinged on the bottom. But we'll say the sides look fairly decent. So, and then this is where I was talking about the side of the tip, is that you don't need a lot of paint. But you also want to be super careful when you do an edge like this, because you don't want to totally hit the actual shield. You just want to hit this edge. So very nice and controlled. You just hit this edge. Do the same up here. See, all I'm doing is hitting the edge of these things, I'm not really hitting the shield. And then we can just do that. Or, let's see. I don't want to do this. Seems to be like a little edge right here I'll do. Just trying to see if I can find any sculpted edges. Looks like something right here. I'll hit this edge right here. And I'll hit this edge. There we go. That looks alright. And we can also add a little bit of rust if we wanted to. The other thing that I'll do is I'll take this medium silver, and he's got a couple buttons down here, rivets. So we just touch that and we do a couple circles very lightly, just to kind of accent those. Try and do it on camera, and I can't get the angle on the camera, but so those are things that would actually impact or get scraped or kind of scratched up is these little buttons right here. So there is his iron shield, and we'll get some other colors in there momentarily, but this is what we're going to be doing for the next half hour or so. Is we're just going to go around and start hitting a lot of these edges. So just hit your edges with the medium silver and hit any rivets that you might see on this guy, and we'll come back to it when we can. Trying to give you guys a little breather, a little chance to not watch and just do. You need to watch how to do the side. I gotta turn them upside down. I think I can get to the side much easier. And if you're having a hard time getting somewhere, one of the greatest tips I heard was hold your brush farther back so that you're more careful of when you're hitting something. Same thing. Now I figured I wanted to do the iron because I was doing iron brackets on the gyrocopter, and I was like, I never really knew how to do cast iron before, so when I was looking at a lot of cast iron stuff, it's sort of like, it's more hammered and it's got like some texture, like a stony texture, but all that texture is reverse of what you think. It's not like highlights. It's each time a divot happens in cast iron, it's sort of, it's like a scratched area and it's exposed metal. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe if I just expose the metal on the edges, that might get me my cast iron look. And so it looked good on the copter. Hey, Demon Speed, how's it going? Thank you for that lurk. We always appreciate lurkers in the channel. I gotta mix up more of this, so I'll go right to my light silver. That's 2. We'll wash that out. Grab some more dark. Try to save as much as I can here. And we'll do some up here on the arms. Now this, I might want to do towards me. Yep, there we go. I have some shout outs to do, so we'll do that as well. I could have done the shout outs while this guy was drying, but and I'm probably not going to do all hard lining here today, because we want to get other paint going in. The armor is what's going to sell this guy, so I wanted to really focus on the armor. But, yeah, so I'm just kind of going in and working out some of these armors, plates. We'll get into showing you how to do some of the glow, and then you can take it off stream and get ready for next Thursday. So this one might be a little too thick. Like, this one has a much better feel to it. But I mean, it may be that way all over this thing. Who knows? You might get something that you're like, oh, you know what? I don't like that area, but I like that area. Or, you know what? It just depends on how you're viewing it. Maybe he does have more metal over there. Maybe it is more scratch there. But we can always tone it down with some more black if we have to. Let's see. I'll do some shout outs. I'm just going to do in here really quick. And again, this is only the first one. Then we have the other silver, and we can make some of these scratches just a tad bit brighter. I look at where he's going to have most of the wear and tear. And you know what? You can even create scratches when you're doing this. Maybe you're like, oh, you know what? This looks very plain here. I'm just going to give him a nice big old scratch. Right? See, and you haven't really done anything. You're just edge highlighting the armor. You're not really doing anything to it. And it's already starting to look like it's metallic. Alright, I'm going to let you guys keep on going with that. I'm going to give quick shout outs here. So we have a lot of people in the house today. Let's see. Go all the way back up to Aspire Painting, who, let's see, shout out. Aspire Painting. Aspire Painting is one dude that I always can get inspiration from. And when I'm stuck on something, I go over to his channel, and he is fantastic. In fact, he does a lot with chibis and comic book style painting that I'm trying to get into, but I'll just show you Aspire. I was playing around with this guy, this little chibi. This is Venture from the 80s cartoon D&D. So I was playing around with this guy. There's one of his wings. So I can't wait to keep working on this guy. And then we also have this chibi that he's starting to come out much better than I had hoped, except for the fact that the primer messed up in the front of him, and the back of him was fine, so we just kept going. But that is my non-metallic metal trying to create that effect. So there you go. Aspire gives me all the stuff that I need to be inspired. Trader Legion, I'm pretty sure you stream, although I haven't caught a stream of yours because I can't seem to. I know I'm following you though, so we're gonna give you a quick shout out for Trader Legions. So don't be afraid to go follow him. Maybe we can get him into streaming if that's what he's not doing. We got Wampa Dan is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He is a real life family member. He is my brother. If you like digital art and traditional art, 2D stuff, and 3D computer artwork, he is the person to go to. At the moment, he is more into playing underwater stuff. I can only watch for a bit before I feel like I'm drowning. But yeah, he has an awesome stream, so go check him out. Especially when he's starting to do his art stuff. I mean, you can watch him play games, but I think he excels more at doing all of his 3D and 2D artwork. Let's see. Let me shout out Humbler John, I believe, is lurking around. Where is he? Humbler John. Humbler John kind of lurks around. He's usually in Demon Speed's channel, but he always stops in here for a good time. Not that I give a good time, but maybe he's just a glutton for punishment. Maybe he's sadistic like that. Let's see. Antifreeze. That's the other one that I'm looking for. Shout out at Antifreeze. Antifreeze used to stream. Do you still stream, Antifreeze? Only here for the good times. There you go. I don't know if Antifreeze streams. I know that I got to meet him for like about 4 minutes at ReaperCon last year, and so both of us have made a pact to make sure we hang out for at least 5 minutes this time. We always have to kind of beat our last record. Never did. Got the stuff to start streaming. Well, here's to when you start streaming. You'll always have some follows. You know you have a follow from me. My new job kind of put a hold on it. Oh, yeah. Yep, life gets in the way, but at least, you know, having a job gets you more materials. So, like, I have so much stuff here that I could stream for pretty much the rest of my life and always be able to do something new. But Antifreeze is an awesome person. You can find him hanging out almost everywhere. He's about as how do I say it? He's about it. You can't get rid of him like you can't get rid of me. Like, he's everywhere. Once he starts lurking, he's there for life. So same with me. All right, I know we have Demon Speed in the house. Demon Speed just got into painting, folks, and if you want to see some awesome, not first level, that's not what I wanted to say. If you want to see some awesome beginner stuff, he has made so many inroads with, I don't know, 3 months of miniature painting. It looks like he's been doing it for like 40 years. He is picking up on it fast, and he's always an enjoyable person to watch. And he's got some cool stuff that he paints that I'm just like, I want that. So let's see. Anybody else in here that I missed? Nope, I didn't miss anybody else. But ladies and gentlemen, if you go follow these people, not only they may not be miniature painters, but they do help fuel the art hobby whether it's 3D printing or it's digital art, 2D art, whatever it might be, um, they do fuel this hobby. So please give them a quick check. You're never going to know when they stream if you're not following them, because that's how you get the notification. Yeah, about 3 months or so. He's working on a bust tonight. A bust already? Good golly. That guy. I'll have to go find out what he's doing over on his stream. All right. So where were we? We're just kind of edge highlighting a little bit of this. It's not really edge highlighting. It's more of edging, because that's how cast iron goes. If you look at the bottom of a pan, there's that ring. Like, I guess it's the ring where the cast iron sits on, and it's, at least on mine and the ones I've seen, they've always had like the sharp metal scrapes on it. So let's see, we'll do here and here. I wish it wasn't so hot in this basement, or in this cave I should say, since I'm streaming now, because it does really kind of mess with the paints a little bit. And for this one, I'm thinking that the scrapes might actually come from the tip, so I'm gonna kind of scratch out from the tip. And when I do that, I start at the point and I just work my way towards the foot, and it just makes a little tiny scrape on the toe area. So again, I start at the point of the toe and I scratch into, and it doesn't have to be like connected. It's just a series of lines that I just go into the foot, just to give it that little scrape at the toe area. Okay. Now again, if it's too light, we can always kind of tone it down. We can always go back to our dark silver. Like this one here, I just thought was too much. So I'm just going to take some of that dark silver and bring it back, so it's not as shiny. Let's see. Tell me what he thinks his weak points are, and I print models to force him to do it. Well, that's good. At least, at least he's practicing his weak spots. That's always good. Failure is the best teacher, because, well, I shouldn't say failure is the best teacher. What I should say is that if you fail because you've learned something, like, okay, that didn't work, so I'm going to try this, then failure becomes the best teacher, because what you're doing is you're saying, I'm trying something, it didn't work out, so let me adjust. If you never adjust after you fail, and you keep doing the same thing over and over, then it doesn't become, it's not the best teacher, or you're not the best learner. However it might happen, when you fail, you've got to be able to readjust or reassess, and then do something different. Because if you don't, then you're just going to keep making the same errors over and over. Like I try to do the non-metallic metal every now and then. Not that I have to do non-metallic metal. They make metallic paint for a reason. But I do the metallic metals non-metallic metals because it forces me to glaze and learn about lighting. And if you don't learn about lighting, you can't do effective non-metallic metal or OSL. Clearly, I'm not going to know everything, and there's a lot of stuff. That's why I'm taking some classes at ReaperCon, because I want to know what pieces I'm missing. Maybe it's just the way I'm holding my brush. Maybe it's I'm just not following the light sources. Maybe I'm using more. You know how they say less is more? Maybe I'm using too much of one thing. I know when I went to Adepticon last year, I was used to always glaze my light colors in, and they said what you should be doing is sketching your model first and then glazing down to get to the, blend in the colors, because glazing light colors can leave a chalky effect. I mean, it's probably true, but I haven't gotten to that point where I can glaze effectively down. I think what I can do is this back piece. I think this is a cloth right here, but I think this might actually be a metal piece. So we'll just do that. And then, because it's so I'm just gonna add a couple scratches in there, just to kind of give that flat area a space. Yeah. And so there's a bunch of ways that you can scratch or give it some character, like right here on the shoulder. Maybe we just do a couple scratches that way. You don't have to give it scratches if you don't want to. I'm just doing it to fill up some flat space. I can do the same thing over here, but I don't want to do too many scratches over here because there is something else I want to do around here. So, all right. So we'll take this color that we just did. Oh, I'm running out of that color too. Take some more of this medium gray, and this time I'm just gonna paint this axe right here. I'm just gonna go right to this axe, and this is gonna give a whole different metal feel than that armor, which is kind of what you want to happen. You want the armor to be its own style, because if it's like his weapon, then there's no character to the armor. And we're not doing non-metallic metals, so, and clearly you can see I didn't clean this miniature from the molds, but that's alright. This is just a game piece anyway, but if I was going to stick it into competition, I would totally get rid of and clean it up. And you could do true metallic metal. You could do, the dark, medium, and bright metals. All right. We have an underside here. And I also know that I didn't do any rivets on his armor. I'll do that when I can. But there we go. For such an easy miniature, I mean, it can be an easy miniature. I think I missed something here. Because you can just dry brush this all metallic or paint it all metallic and then just work on the skin and everything else. But I like to push myself and say, metal armor, yeah, I can do that. What can I do different? And since he's a dark dwarf and I want to do a little bit of a glow effect, maybe everything should be much darker. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of dark red on the cloth here. But to do the dark red, I don't want to paint over black. So we're going to go right to the mahogany. And that's what I did over here. I put mahogany all over where I'm going to do the red. And it's just, you don't need a big thick brush of paint of mahogany. It could be thin. I can speak today. Whoa. It just needs to be, I don't want the red to go over the black because then it will dull it too much. And since mahogany already has much more red in it for its brown tint, I feel like red goes over mahogany much nicer. So we'll take this mahogany. It's also going to be used for the handle of the axe, but I'm going to use it right here for this cloth, and we'll give him some red undercloth. And we'll mix a little bit of the red with the black and brown to make it nice and dark. So today's lesson is to paint dark. So we have a lot of dark colors in here, and then that's what actually will bump the glow effects when we get into it, because everybody's eyes go away from the dark tones, and then as soon as you stick something bright in there, it's immediately where their eyes go. So, and all of this could have been armor if you wanted to make it armor. It's kind of cool. I like I like the Reaper miniatures just for the mere fact that there are some miniatures out there, they just do these sculpts and they leave it to the painter to decide, is that going to be a metallic piece or is that going to be a cloth piece? Like this right here, like there's a piece right here that I can see as cloth, or that I'm doing cloth, right? But then there's this piece here that I did as a metal piece, and I'm like, I could do that as cloth. It might actually work as cloth. But then this piece would have to be cloth. So I think a lot of this stuff, so it's really kind of choose your own adventure. So I think based on where everything's at with this, I think that's going to have to be cloth. Doesn't have to be for you. I just, where I started to go, I think that has to be cloth. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to make this piece cloth. Sorry, metal. Sorry, cast iron. But that's why, because your miniature may not look like my miniature. Well, if you're painting along, maybe it will. And again, anytime that you get done doing these miniatures, if you actually do paint along, or you wait until the video to paint along, don't be afraid to throw it in my Discord. I would love to see how yours comes out. Maybe you have taken it in a direction that I never thought to. Or maybe your blends are much smoother than mine. I'm just here to provide the color schemes and let you run wild. Alright. And again, I could leave this just the way it is. I can leave this brown. Just making sure I'm not missing any spots. Alright. And I do think I have some cloth up here. So I'm gonna get this up here. It's like right between his gauntlet and his shoulder pads. But again, it could have been armor as well, but I have chosen to break up a lot of the black armor with some cloth pieces. And we'll do it over here as well. And now, because that black armor is on there, you really get to see the silver of the armor. But now I bet your eyes are really kind of focused on that brown when I put it there. I bet your eyes like look at the brown, because the brown is a little bit lighter color. I don't think I can get anywhere else with that. Oh, there's a little strap in here. I didn't see that. Alright. Well, we'll do the strap a different color. I don't know what we'll do. Well, maybe the strap will be mahogany. Let's get mahogany on that strap. We'll make that a nice brown strap. I think we're going to do some nice dark red cloth, so that'll kind of blend together a little bit. Alright. Just looking around, looking around. Oh, you know what? We got something in the back of him that we have to do. So I have to go in with the black. I have to kind of clean up the back collar here. And then I'll get some gray on that black collar. Oops. Got some on my little axe, because he was slipping off and I was trying to catch him, and there we go. Alright. So I don't know if you can see it, but I could see like his little nose where we put that highlight color, but it kind of blends all together, which is really nice. It's not an in your face kind of blend. And then I'm gonna actually paint his eyebrows, because I think that's kind of causing a little bit of weird highlighting here. Again, if I want to do a black beard, I can. If I want to do a white beard, I can. But what I want to do is paint where these eyebrows are, so I know that they're not part of his skin. So when I lighten up his skin a little bit, I'm not lighting up his eyebrows. Also helps with black lining too, because there's nothing saying that you can't black line by painting something completely black and then painting over it with another color, leaving some black to show on the edges. It's just one way to black line. Another way to black line is to actually black line. I think with comic book style painting, you really do have to cell shade by black lining a lot. I don't think you can get away with just painting something black and then painting color over it. Alright. Now he's got eyebrows. Now he's got a bald head. We're looking good here. I do want to take a little bit of that bright gray, or not that bright gray, but you know, that thin gray that we did the nose with. I do want to get it on the lip down here. It's just to break up the mouth with the mustache and the beard with this mouth. So. And then we'll highlight it more when we get there. All right. That's what he's looking like. All right, so I got where I want the cloth. I got where I want the armor. So we're gonna continue with this shield. And now what I'm gonna do is it's kind of weird, but I'm gonna actually kind of go around all of these spikes or whatever with a white. And then we're gonna try to do red on that. So the way I'm going to do that is very carefully. Let's get the white out. You might want to not do this with me. You might want to wait to see how I do this, because I might screw this up. But we're going to hope and pray. I've seen it done on multiple occasions. I just don't know if... I mean, I haven't been able to do it. And my white's kind of chunky today. Oh, Pro. You're not supposed to be chunky on me. I think it's because it's really hot down here. This thing is seeing a lot more weather than it should. Alright. No worries, because we have the medium to kind of smooth that out. A little bit of water with it. Oh, that was a lot of water, but that's okay. All right, let's mix that up. Oh yeah, look at how chunky that is. But it tends to soften down. And I'm just using a wet palette to get as much of this paint out of here. Alright. So one thing I've seen people do, and I don't know if it's going to work on the shield, is they'll take and they'll wet. So they'll take water. I'm going to do this with clean water. They will actually go ahead and they will get their brush wet with water, just water, and then they go in and they kind of wash this area here, and let all of that water just kind of filter into the gaps, not the gaps, the recesses. Now I don't know how fast I have to work here because of the dehumidifiers, so I'm going to try to do this as best I can. And then once you get that water kind of situated where you want it, you're supposed to allow, I'm just kind of drying out some of the flat areas, you're supposed to let the water take the paint. So we're going to take a little bit of white, not a lot of white. See, not a lot of white. And I'm just going to touch where the water is and see what happens. Did it work? Didn't work. Let's see. Okay. So that worked. I may not be able to... So it does work, I just don't have... Alright, let's try this one more time. I'm going to try to do it one section at a time. So I'm going to take this, we're going to go around this big tack here. So I got the water there. And it's a lot of water, so I'm going to get rid of some of it by drying off the brush and just touching where I don't want the water. And then I should be able to take this white, not a lot. So again, just this much white, and just touch where that water is. And it should take it on me. You can start to see it move. It's moving down. See if I can get on this side. Oh yeah, see? Alright, let's see. Do I have any water over here? I do have water over there, but see, the problem is that if you force it, this is what happens right here. So I don't want to force it. I just want the white to go. I don't think that the white is going to do it on its own. I think you need to have the water. And try this one more time. So I want to just touch the corner here and let the white flow down. Maybe I'm just holding it at a flat angle. So look, I don't know how it looks on camera. But I can't colorize it because it's not dry. It's just a quick way of getting into the recesses. See, there's too much water here. There we go. So I'll take this black. You have to be careful because this is still wet, so if you touch any of that water with this black, it's gonna seep into your white. So I'm just trying to do it so that you can see the white on these pins. Because that's what we're eventually going to put the red on, is that white. And I mean, I could take this white, but it's so hard to get the white in these little tiny spaces without making everything white. That's why I wanted the water. See, I'm very scared to do it. Let's see if I can do it on this side. So you have to be very, very touchy with it. And plus, if you use the water method, at least if you mess up, you can always paint it black again. I'm just really trying to be very super careful here. Because if you're not careful, you can really put a nice big glop of white on there. it's just using the tip of the brush. Not sure I can get in there. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to really thin this white out. And it's just water I'm using. I'm not using any medium or anything. Problem is that it's like I want to use the moisture of the white, but I don't. Alright, that seems to work. Although you can't really see what I'm doing because the white is so small. Hopefully you can see it though. Alright. So we have to let that dry. But it's sort of what I want to do. Kind of. I think I used dirty water, but I kind of want to do it underneath these plates here. So I'm using water to dictate where I'm going to go. Use the white just on the tip, and I'm just going to touch the water and hopefully it'll soak up the white, or not. See, there's too much white. Too much white right here. Who's lurking now? Demon Speed is lurking. Go ahead and take another lurk, Demon Speed. Hopefully, hopefully we're not as boring for you. And take some of this red. I'm going to go ahead and mix colors while I'm waiting for that to dry. So we're going to take some of this red. And I'm going to do a 3-part. It's just going to be all even. So I'm going to take this red. Right here. I'm going to take some of the mahogany. And mix that in. Makes a much deeper red. And I'm going to take some of the black. And mix that in as well. I think it might have to be 2 reds. 2 reds, 1 mahogany, 1 black. Get this nice, rich red color. And this is what I can use to paint over the mahogany. Sort of like a burnt red almost, but it's not in your face red. It will be red, but at least we have a place to go when we want to highlight. And I know I'm using a much bigger brush than I was before, and it's just I'm using the tip of the brush, not using the entire brush. Like if you stick your whole brush in there, you're gonna hit metal pieces. But if you use the tip, and as long as you have a good tip, you can get into all kinds of places with a big brush. And it's so loaded with paint that I don't have to keep going back to my wet palette to get more paint. And that is the benefit to having a larger brush with a nice tip. Just be careful you don't hit anything Because if you can't reach a spot with the big brush because you're going to hit other pieces, then you have to move to a smaller brush. But the belly's not in danger of hitting anything yet, so I'm going to stick with this because I don't want to lose all that paint I mixed in it. And then we have some red up here. See? I knew it. But since we have black armor, I can go in there with the black and take care of that. But that's when it would signal to me, nope, you shouldn't have done that. You should have went with a smaller brush. Hey, look. There he is. Look at that. You are now done, my friend. You jerk. Not as quick as I used to be. Alright, now we'll use a smaller brush. Cannot believe, you see, he sat right on that guy's face. Only in my cave will that happen. How miserable was that? Now I have to give this guy a pet fly when I want to use him in D&D. Alright. What a place to land. I know. Like, he didn't even, he was like not even phased. He just landed right there and he sat there. It's not, I like shook him and he just stayed there. Alright, with this red here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add it to this. I'm going to actually paint on because it's not going to show up so much on the red as it will the white. And I'm just going to paint this white stuff with this red. This should all be dry right now. This is just to get the red to show up. That's why I did the white. Oops. I mean, we'll do a fair amount of cleanup around here, but you try to make the shield do a little bit of glowy stuff. And so you want the glue, or you want the glue? What the heck am I talking about? You want the glow to be dark mostly around, and then when we get the yellows and the oranges in there, those have to be a little bit more controlled where we put them. So right now I'm just kind of doing red all around here. We'll go back to the black and fix up anything that might need to be fixed up. But you can see if I don't put the white in there, you're not going to see the red. And that's precisely why I was trying to do that trick with the water. And it might not be the miniature to do it to, but I gave it a shot. And if it doesn't work here, doesn't mean it's not going to work somewhere else. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color, red, and I'm going to mix in some of this dark silver. And a little bit of black. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want all of those colors in the middle here. So like in the middle of this red, I want that glow to kind of shine in there. But because I have the silver and I have the black that's in there, you really want to get those colors back in so it looks sort of natural. It's a natural glow. It's the glow on the actual shield, but you don't want to do the entire shield. You just want where that red stuff is. So that's what we're doing. So I mixed all those colors in there because they're on the shield itself. I have the dark silver on the shield, I have the red on the shield, I have the black on the shield. So I mix all those colors and very controlled in the middle of those reds. I'll put this little ambient glow effect, and it kind of connects all of those pieces together. And that way when we get into the brighter colors, we still got this ambient red that's going on around it. And so if you look at it this way, it does sort of look like it's glowing. I'll take some more of this black and a little bit of the silver. Not a lot of the silver. And I'm going to go back over the sword now. Or the, I don't know what you want to call these things, spikes? And it's not an anvil. It's what they hammer things with, right? Maybe it's nails. That way I wanted to clean up some of the white on there. Let's see. Looks like I have a little bit of white down here, so we'll just get rid of that with this ambient light. There we go. All right. Now that we mix the red and the mahogany and a little bit of the black together, I'm just going to go straight to the black with my little, straight to the red with my little brush. Boy, I haven't really done Thursday night paints in a while, huh? I can't speak. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of hit with this red. I'm just gonna hit what the flat surfaces. I want to leave some of that dark red in there, so just be controlled with this red. It doesn't have to go all, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You really want to keep some level of shade and shadows and stuff in there. So and I kind of did something out of order, but you don't need to highlight anything, right? So if I do this, if I just kind of stick here and do this red, right, it's gonna dull because there's a dark red there. But then if I go ahead and wait for that to dry and then do it again, very controlled, I can actually highlight more of that piece. So I'm just using the one red, nothing's mixed in, and I just go in and this is how when people say to thin out your colors, this is kind of what they're doing. They're using thin paints over and over. They're not highlighting every time. They're just using the thin paint. So I could go back over and do the red again and it will be highlighted. But you want to make sure that you have definition. Don't do the whole thing red. Just do where you think it's going to look presentable. So see, I just did that under there. Right. And I'm not doing anything underneath. Like right here, I hit this once. I mean, I could hit it one more time because it's exposed, but I'm not going to hit all over. I just want to hit where it's exposed and leave the rest in a shadow. That's how we do it. And then down here, I will do it once down here. I don't really care if I do it, it gets highlighted because the shield is covering it. But you do want to do a little bit so that it stays consistent. Like you don't want to leave something mahogany because it's down below. All right. So I'm going to actually go ahead and brighten up my red a little bit with some white. So I have a pink color, which I can totally use, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. Where are we at here? Oh, good. We're almost on time. We'll have to work on the armor next Thursday. Or you can do... So, really, whatever I do on the shield is what I'm going to be doing on the armor. So, if you want to move on ahead... Oh, hang on. I didn't open the large twist first. That's why that did that. Alright. See, I get talking, I get motivated, and I forget how to use things. Alright, and I'm going to use some of this yellow into here. Brings it to a nice salmon color. I think I need more red to combat. There we go. That's what you're looking for. A little bit more yellow. Alright. So we got a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red. It's supposed to make some orange. I have a little bit of white in there. This is going to add to my glow just a tad bit. So this I want to do. This I want to do only straight lines. So you want to go right straight. You want to keep some of that red going in there. You don't want to go too much with this. You need to see some of that red. Probably not going to show up on camera. Camera hates red for whatever reason. I'm always doing straight lines. I'm not doing any curves. I'm not doing any dots. And if you don't have a sharp point, make sure you have a sharp point. And I'm going to try to get underneath a little bit here. Even though I said not to go underneath, I'm going to do it because I think it needs it. Okay. Add a little bit more red to that. And I'm going to use this color to go underneath things. So like I'm underneath this particular piece, this particular piece. So it's like a reverse highlight, I guess you want to say. Like I'm making these glow, but not as bright because they're underneath. Okay. It's a gradual slope. I'm gonna grab some of this red mixture that we put on the shield, just to add a little bit more red to that, because I think I need it right here, up here. It's all about where the light is hitting the metallic pieces, right? Alright, going back to this original color we had. Add a little bit more yellow to that. And add a little bit more white to that. Really sell that. Alright. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. This time I'm just going to go like in the middle of each line. Carefully. Carefully. So some of them's not being careful, some of them are. And my ambient light might just not be wide enough, but let's see. Let's try to see if we can get some more of this red ambient light going around. Really sell the glow here. Alright, let's see if I can make these swords black now. I call them swords, there should be nails. And I'm trying to just stay in the middle of all of these metal things, right? Like, if you were highlighting, you would stay on top of everything, but because of the glow effect, you want it to be, you want the shade or the silhouette. The dark is what makes things glow, not the brights. And then I'll take some of this ambient, a little bit of black. And we'll kind of bring this up here a little bit. So what I'm trying not to do is make it look like a robot or something technical. I'm trying to get it so that it's actually glowing from the shield in the middle. And so that's kind of what we're going to do down here. We're going to just start the same way. We're going to take this red. Oops. Oh my god. Come on. Take this red, and then you're just going to hit just under these plates right here. And then we're going to do the same thing. So where this ambient light is, we're going to use that dark ambient light to go below it, but not all the way, because we still want to give it the illusion of black armor. See, this still has the illusion of black armor. But that's kind of where we want to go. So when you're looking at it this way, it looks like that's glowing there. Hopefully it looks like it's glowing. I mean, we can get some white in there. But that's the final step, is to get the white in there, and then you're just kind of not even hitting a lot of it. You're just trying to make it very bright in certain areas. Just like a little dot of white. Not gonna do too much more. I might have to fix this white right here. This looks like it really got out of control. But at least I wanted that back glow, because I think, you know, with a miniature like this, it's so much easier to just paint everything silver or dark or whatever. But if you want to go the extra mile, we should try to figure out where places are that we can hit stuff. So this, I know it looks very much like this is all separated, or this is part of his undergear, but once it starts looking like this, it won't look like that. And that's what we'll start doing next Thursday. We'll start working on some of those inside armor plates, and we'll figure out, I'm really thinking that maybe a gray beard, a gray with like white streaks or some white highlights, and then we have to do a little bit more with the face here. But I think if we, you know, we're doing this glow here, I think we can get probably a glow on his eyes if we wanted to. I didn't do anything up here with the red, so I'll have to work on that off stream, so that when we come back, we're fresh, we're ready to go. But there he is, folks. That's our start to our Dark Reaper. I'm kind of liking that shield. There's a couple things that we have to do with the scratches and stuff like that, but I think it looks like cast iron. Hopefully it looks like cast iron. We didn't do a lot of the bright silver. That's the other thing that we have to do with our cast iron, is that we only have 2 levels of colors there. So what you want to do is figure out where is the place that gets hit the most, and it's usually these corners. So like if you hit these corners, with the bright silver, it starts to add a whole new dynamic. Of course, I hit some of the rivets, but that's the other thing you have to hit, is the rivets, or these little nails right in the middle. That's the other place that needs to highlight. You don't have to highlight the entire thing. You don't have to edge highlight the entire thing. Just go to the corners, because that's where most of the pieces are gonna get dinged the most. And again, if you do too much, well, we just have to clean it up. And so just by doing those corners, you get to see a whole new shield. Alright. So there is our cast iron shield with a little bit of a glow. We'll try to get that all over the miniature. I'm not trying to make a big glow on the miniature. I'm just trying to get sort of I'm just trying to get sort of a little separation with all the cast iron so it doesn't look so. Sorry, those white things were just gonna mess me up. I was gonna think about them all night. So there we go. All right. Well, there we go. We'll put him. Let's see. How do I want to do this? You know what I need? I need like something that's gonna be angled. I need something that angles this. Let's see, what if I do that? Nope. See, I need something that I can put to angle so we can see what we did. Alright. So there we go, folks. Let me zoom in. You guys didn't even tell me I was zoomed this far out. I wasn't really watching. I know, the end of the stream, he zooms in. What a monster. We go to 325. All right. There we go. Now you can see him. Look at that. So there you go. That's, you know, we have some cleanup on the shield to do, but that's the cast iron shield. We're going to try to get the armor to be the same way. So hopefully you learned a little bit about if you ever want to do really dark armor, it's not a matter of, it's just a matter of edge highlighting and keeping it very dark. And I think as we keep this nice and dark, it will be a nice dark dwarf. And I don't even know if I'm going to go any more red on the red. We'll see. Because if I take this red and I do it again, it should be... It should make it much more red. We'll leave it like that and see how that looks. Alright. So there is Mr. Dark Dwarf. I'm trying to get it so he'll stay where we want him to stay. I'll put these here. Look at that, I just engineered. Well, whatever. Alright. Let me take these off. I have a bunch of stuff I have to get done for to do for work tomorrow. So let me come out here. Let me be all professional and shut the music off. There we go. I could have waited till the music stopped. Hey guys, thanks for stopping in tonight. Thank you everybody. Thank you so much Aspire Painting for that raid. Thank you Trader Legions for following. I didn't even see that come through. I have to figure out how to do my sounds. However, there are new stream sounds that you can pay channel points for. So I did put those in. I have to work on figuring out how I can hear the sounds as well so I don't miss anything that goes through. I probably missed stuff. Anyway, the fly has seemed to have left the building, so he only wanted to annoy me for the stream. Yeah. So next Thursday, we'll continue on with the Dark Dwarf Reaper. We'll work more on his face, getting that to be a little bit brighter. We'll get some beard stuff in there, and we'll continue working on the armor. The armor is going to be one of those things that we're probably going to touch every single Thursday that we paint him. But hopefully, you have your Dark Reaper, Dark Dwarf Cleaver, and you are painting along with me. And if not, and you're waiting for the video, That should be posted very soon, and I will do a much better job of getting these Thursday night paint alongs on the YouTube. Then I'll put in the Discord, the YouTube channel, in case you don't have your Cleaver, but you want to watch and paint along at a different route. Yeah. So with all of that said and done, we'll be back here we'll be back here next Tuesday. We'll be painting something fun. Hopefully I'll have a nice dehumidified basement, and we'll start working on some more stuff, or we'll just start working on the copter again, because that's got to get done before ReaperCon. Or maybe there'll be a surprise. Maybe I'll start working on a diorama for ReaperCon. We will see. And then next Thursday we'll come back here with the Dark Dwarf Cleaver. I just want to remind everybody that as of the middle of August, I think August 15th, I will go on a hiatus for the rest of August and all of September. Just because there's a lot of activities going on in my life that requires more attention than I'm not going to be able to stream for. So we'll be back. We'll start up again at the end of September, but just keep a lookout at the schedule down below. I think that's all set up for the end of the year. So if you ever want to know when I'm streaming, just come to the channel and look down below. All right, that's all I've got to say for now. Let me see who's out there that we can be a nuisance to, like that fly was to me. Where can we land on today? Aw, damn. Xbron, how's it going? Catmaster or Kaylee? I missed you, Gel Tip. Oh, I'm so sorry, Xbron. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 to 11 Eastern. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we got what? Catmaster or Kaylee? You know what? I haven't rated Kaylee in a long time. I've been in her stream, but I haven't. So let's do that. What? One one thing that I noticed is that if you stay and just hang out and lurk, you eventually make it back to your own channel if you stream, or you make it to the person that you wanted to go in. I'll have to keep an eye out. Yes, Xbron, it's been a while. What have you been doing, sir? I have to get the raid ready, so let me just get that raid set up and ready to go. And where is? Oh, I know. I gotta do this. Okay, I'm gonna do tab. Are you going to ReaperCon this year? Of course I am. I'll be there at ReaperCon. Um, I'm actually in the hotel this year. I'm not walking or getting rides to the place. I'm actually in there. So I will I will be there. And I'm not wearing it. I can't believe I didn't put it on today. Ugh. I have a special shirt just for ReaperCon and streams too. But I have ribbons this year. I have stickers this year. I might have another sticker this year. So yeah, I'm going all out. So due to doggo doctor bills, I will not be able to come. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, dude. But the doggos need our love too. Doggos need our love too. And I'm a big dog guy, so I feel if it came down to ReaperCon or the dog, I would probably have to make the hard choice and go with the dog. Let's see. So let's do this. Let's do this. Watch, she's gonna raid into me before I get this done because I'm so slow. Not only am I slow at miniature painting, I'm slow at raiding. Ah. Alright, there we go. We are set up. That's what we want. There's a possibility in the near future that she will need both knees replaced. Ew. Ouch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the lovely Kaylee Larson. If you're not following her, do yourself a favor. Check out her channel. She's high strung, high energy if you like that sort of thing. However, what really makes her special is she is an awesome painter and a love of the hobby and a love of the extremely awesome artist. So I get inspiration from her every time I go. So you're not going to be bored in her channel. So make sure you give her a follow if you are not following. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. I will see everybody Tuesday at 9 p.m. And remember, keep painting. That's the name of the game.
Yesterday after stream, every time to nobody, and it's just I don't know. It feels right, you know.
See,
I don't know. It's just how I do it.
Oh my goodness, Jilton, welcome in.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the raid. Monster
Hell
Den,
yeah.
you still have to tell us what happened on your stream. Jiltip, what happened on your stream?
Monster Den saw me and ran.
There's like, we didn't know they were together.
Like, oh shit, they got capped. Oh fuck, run, run because he can't.
Oh god, what was it? I'm gonna kick you. How?
Yeah. I was working on. Oh, that's right. You did say Modok. That's right. That's right. See, I was in your stream for the Jacob Jensen's raid, monster, and you were drawing somebody with pea-filled pants on your paint
That
thing
sounds
on paint
amazing.
or something. What was that?
Modok is such a fun mini. We had our Thursday night paint along. This series is the Reaper Dark Dwarf Cleaver? Clever?
Ooh.
However that word said.
I'm learning all sorts of new techniques from gel tip.
Welcome in,
Yeah,
Ron.
hell yeah.
Those
Those pictures are not my finest moments. They're awesome though. I do pictures too. Mine are stick figures though, and they're quite terrible.
I still need to change my craft paper because I have Roger Shiro a husband. Mystic Blue Cougar, welcome in. Thank you so much all the love. And then above it, I have random words marked out with times next to them from the last week or the week before. Cheers into everyone in chat. Oh, the cheers! Always good fun. Yeah, yes, Kaylee, okay. They're all words that have been banned from me, and then the times next to them and crossed out.
Oh yeah, when Cody was in the stream with us, and we were banning
because
everything.
He wanted to make me feel pain.
Yeah, my son was really torturing her. Like he's like, "Oh, we should ban this. We should be." Then he'd whisper in my ear. He'd be like, "Oh, you should make her do this. You should make her do that." I'm like, "Dude, we gotta calm down. I'm using all my points." Like,
yeah.
My son was a holy terror. That was hilarious.
He wanted revenge because I poked fun at him for asking if stabbing tasted.
Oh yeah, I know. I know, that was funny. My son's a big dork. He really is. He doesn't spend like more than a millisecond thinking about what he says or what he's about to do. So he makes a lot of really ditzy mistakes. And it's just impossible not to laugh at. And then sometimes he gets really embarrassed like he did that night. And I feel really bad, but it's like you can't stifle the laugh. It's just too silly. Like, it's just part of his charm, you know? He's just a really...